Have you ever wanted to make your own physics class? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use the power of React, TypeScript, and Matter.js to magically create our own physics class. This week, I made my own 2D physics simulation playground, specifically focusing on kinematic forces and movement and realistic obstacle collisions. So as you can see here, we have different objects that you can, with different weights that you can add to the scene. You can set the initial speed and angle of trajectory. They also interact with one another. If they hit, then they actually hit each other and the forces are realistic. For this project, I used React, TypeScript, and a physics library called Matter.js. So the goal for this project was to create a playground where users can actually see real-life kinematic forces applied in a simple, easy, and fun 2D environment. You can reset, you can pause, you can play the simulation, and then on the right-hand side, there's also a information widget where you can actually see the angle, the forces, and the current velocity of the objects. I wanted to create a project where different objects can interact with one another in the same scene. So in the code, the main component is the simulator component. There's not a lot of code for this project, surprisingly, but as you can see here, I am just setting the renderer from Matter.js, and then I'm adding a ground as well as the runner. This runner is what helps with playing, pausing, or resetting the simulation. And then we add all of that to the scene. And then lastly, for the drag and drop effect, we also have gravity implemented, and then the drag and drop effect, we use React D&D library to do this. And then in the use effect hook, we can set the initial position, the current speed, and all of these things while we drag the object in. I think this makes for a much more interactive and fun user experience. These are the methods for the pause, play, and then reset simulation. For the reset method, we just clear the current scene, and then we add empty objects, and then just reset everything as it was. There's not a lot of code for this project, but the result was really nice. So I want to take a moment to talk about how to come up with project ideas. So this goes beyond simply copying tutorials. If you want to make a project and you want to improve your skills, it's important to be able to think outside the box and to come up with cool projects that you yourself find interesting. There's more to it than just simply going on a YouTube channel and copying what you see. You want to have a little bit of creativity yourself and to actually come up with ideas. So my biggest piece of advice is focus on a singular idea. Not every project needs to be big. Focus on only one idea or skill that you want to develop. For this project, I wanted to use the Matter.js library. From there, I want to make more complicated projects and avoid cookie-cutter tutorial projects. And there's no need to make everything complicated. It's okay to have an easy project. This project literally only has 4 or 5 components in the whole thing. There's not a lot of code, but I wanted to get comfortable and start using Matter.js so I can make more complicated projects in the future. Going back to our project, we have the object list. This is where you saw the drag and drop. We use the use state to just set the initial speed and angle, and then we transform the angle into radians, and then use the speed to get the velocity of the objects. We add it to the scene through the use drag hook from React D&D, and then this is what you see. Again, this is much more intuitive and interesting than simply pressing a button to add the new object. I like this feature way more. And then these are the buttons up top for our pause and play. Now, the right hand side, the kinematic information, this is pretty much the last component I want to talk about. I wanted to show the information you get. So you can get them. You can use Matter.js to get bodies. That just has all the information available for the current objects in the scene, and then we just present that in a simple modal on the right hand side. And then if you see in the scene right now, then if I add a couple of objects, as you can see, it shows up right now. It shows the current object's ID, its position in the scene, the velocity, speed, and then the angle that it was set at. You can still interact with them. The kinematic information shows all the current objects in the scene and the position that they currently have. I want to talk about what it means to develop skills, particularly in the context of software engineering and making projects. So when learning something new, make a small project to test your skills and practice it. So it goes beyond simply following a tutorial and learning the theoretical aspects of whatever programming language or framework you're trying to learn. You need to also apply it and to go beyond the basics and just make something by yourself without somebody holding your hand. That's really key to actually understanding the deeper the deeper concepts, and to also honing your skills as a software engineer. So a new programming language or framework can take multiple projects to learn. Don't try to make one big project right away. So once a week I'm trying to make a new project of something I'm trying to learn. Right now, I've never used Matter.js before, and I wanted to learn how to use it this time. So use smaller projects to test your skills, one idea at a time, one tiny thing. Don't compare yourself with other people. Focus on honing your skills, one small goal, one small project at a time. And then this is the last piece of advice I have, is to simply have fun. We all want to make projects for resumes. We all want to get hired, make projects that employers would look at and think would be cool. But to be honest, the best project I've ever made on my resume was back in high school, was a chemistry app. The code behind it was very simple, but the idea was really unique. And that's what stood out. Don't focus on making things that you think other people would like. Make things that you yourself would like. Screw it being on a resume or any of that. When you make stuff you like, it makes the project way more interesting. And I think that's something to be valued and to be strived towards. Have fun, make stuff you like, and be damned what everybody else thinks. I hope you enjoyed this project and learned something. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a nice day.